perfection. Let's dig into 8 reasons as to why you need to stop chasing perfection now. You need to stop chasing perfection today. Number 1, it never stops. There is no end in sight. No idea, no business, concept, or plan meets your criteria. Every idea or concept you come up with isn't perfect enough. You're always shooting it down because it's not perfect enough. It's not shiny or polished enough. This makes it so you never accomplish shit. You never get the ideas off the paper, off the computer, because you overanalyze the hell out of it all the time. You overanalyze it to a point where you're driving those ideas to be merely that, just ideas. Your ideas never get off the ground. They never leave that paper. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do that business you might be thinking about. It doesn't do your goals any good, whether they be your micro or they be your macro goals, because you're always overanalyzing it, and it's just one of those revolving doors at the bottom of the hotel that continues to just go around and around, and it doesn't go forward. It will leave you too, ultimately, and this is a big one, unhappy and feeling unfulfilled. And that's bad, because it's only going to deter you from doing what you need to do or doing what you want to do. And that is extremely unhealthy to self-development, unhealthy and extremely unfair to you and to your business plan that you have, or whatever it may be that you need to get off the ground. Number 2, no risks, no reward. What do I mean by that? While you are overanalyzing everything, you are missing out on lessons. You are not allowing yourself to grow. You are not allowing yourself to make mistakes. You are missing out on growing and learning from those punches. The biggest thing about life that's extremely interesting and extremely powerful is the fact that when you get hit with a punch, you understand how to react next time. But if you sit there and continue to think about all these different angles and play these what-if games, you're actually never going out and putting action behind those words. Then how are you to learn those lessons? Because every single what if that you've put on that piece of paper has been merely just from your own knowing. And if you haven't ventured into the unknown, if you haven't ventured down that path of failure, in that dark path of this unknown area, how are you going to come up with what if ideas that actually happen, that are going to happen? Because you haven't experienced them yet, so you wouldn't know. You are hurting yourself by not going out there and not failing, and that is extremely bad for self-development and extremely bad for your business, because failures are the building blocks to success. So you need to make mistakes. You need to stop thinking about the concept, stop thinking about the plan that or the way it might go, and actually just go out and do it, because eventually you're going to be met with one of those roadblocks. But while you're in that moment, while you're getting burned, while you're getting punched, you're going to understand how to move left or right. And that's key for success. That's key for your success. Number 3, you're judging yourself. And this is a huge one. You are second guessing yourself all the time. You become so overcritical of your moves that it hinders any true growth, because every single time you make a step to the left or right or forward, you're always overanalyzing it and judging yourself and saying, oh, was that actually the right move? Or did I do that right? Or do I actually think this plan is going to work? And you continue to just second guess yourself. And that's extremely, extremely hurtful of yourself, of the plan, of the business you need to get off the ground, and it's not going to go anywhere. So it's extremely critical that you stop overanalyzing every single fucking move you are making or going to make or talking about making. This also means that if this is the approach you take with yourself, chances are you are overly critical of others too, and that's bad. Judgment is bullshit. The fact that you're judging yourself or judging your ideas or judging your plan is absolute garbage, and you need to stop. You need to tie up that bag and throw it out with the garbage, because that's exactly what it is. Judging others or judging yourself, overjudging yourself, is extremely tarnishing for you to move forward, for you to actually get to your goals. And that is so crucial. Judging yourself and others is so unhealthy and destructive. It needs to stop now. And again, this all goes hand in hand with perfectionism. Number 4, no creativity. You have flat thoughts. While you're spending so much time making a concept, a business perfect, you are dull on creativity. And the reason for that is because you're exhausting all your energy into coming up with the perfect idea as opposed to thinking outside of the box. Let me repeat that. You're exhausting all your energy into coming up with a perfect idea as opposed to thinking outside of the box. So while you're thinking about, oh, I should do this, I need to do this, oh, that doesn't seem right, oh, this content isn't great, oh, this business model isn't great, you are not allowing yourself to think outside of the box. And that's bad, because you are going to come out with a flat plan, a flat business, and that's definitely not going to get you anywhere. Number 5, no way to delegate tasks. This is a big one. Because you want everything so fucking perfect, you want to do everything yourself, you will have an extremely hard time delegating things to other people because you want it your way. You want it done your way. And nobody else is going to be able to do it up to your standards. And that is going to be extremely bad for a team you work with, a team you employ, a business partnership that you have, because everything needs to be done your way. And that's going to be really hard to mesh up and meet up if you're someone working with you or someone working for you. And that's extremely destructive. This will drive you and your team or your business partners up a fucking wall. It will drive them up a wall. This also makes you so close-minded because you're not open to ideas, because it's only your ideas, your concept, your plan, your business ideas that you see as being successful. So that way, that means that anytime someone brings an idea to the table, you instinctively just shoot it down right away as opposed to analyzing it. But if it was your idea, you would be extremely critical of it. So it's interesting, right? So anytime someone brings you an idea, you're going to shoot it down, but you're willing to sit there and overanalyze the shit out of your idea or your business plan. That's bad. Number 6, no rest for yourself. You are trying to get it all done now. I see this happen all the time. While you're spending so much time trying to perfect it, it never gets off the ground. Going back to the revolving door, you are trying to get it all done now. That means you cannot bite it off in micro pieces. We've talked about micro goals and macro goals before, but every single time you look at an objective or you look at something that needs to get done, your checklist, you are looking at it and saying, I'm just going to finish it all up now. And that will drive you into the ground. It will also drive you unbelievably fucking sane. And you need to stop doing that. Funny enough, as you are trying to get it all done now, it never happens, because every single time you look at something, you say, okay, this needs to get done today. I need to do this. I need to do this. Every single time you get to a spot in which someone that is not a perfectionist would say, okay, that's good enough. Let's move on to the next thing. You overanalyze it. You're overcritical of it. So that means that it never gets done. It never gets finished. And that will drive you insane. It will also burn you out. Because you're a perfectionist, it never seems good enough. That means no matter how much time you spend on it, how many weekends you dedicate it, how many hours you dedicate towards it, whether it be that business, whether it be that plan, whether it be those goals, it will never sit right with you and it will never feel complete. And that is extremely detrimental to you moving forward as a person and you moving forward with your plans. Number 7, putting your name on everything. Meaning, because you are having the largest pot of say in the decisions for the business or whatever the case might be, you take it personal when others criticize you or when others criticize your plan or your methods or your actions. So that means when that happens, you put a huge amount of pressure back on yourself, right? So again, you are going to run yourself into the ground when you continue to put this personal twist on it. And then when someone else says, oh, how about we take this approach? Or what about this? Or what do we think about adding this into this? you are going to shoot it down right away, but additionally, you are going to put a ton of pressure on yourself to go back to the drawing board and try to get that concept rolling again, that idea going again. And I've seen this happen with so many business owners, so many CEOs, so many people I've known trying to perfect something, myself included. I'm just as guilty. When I started my graphic design business back in college, I was always thinking about, oh, the website needs to be perfect, the content we roll out needs to be perfect, and I constantly was over analyzing every fucking thing we were doing. And it was one day that I sat back and I was like, what am I doing? Because all I'm doing is constantly changing something, and that is taking away so much attention, and keyword there, attention, from everything else I was trying to do, everything else I was trying to do for the business. And ultimately I was hurting the business, and more importantly, I was hurting myself. Number 8, it is extremely stressful. While trying to make sure everything is perfect, you overdo it. You constantly overdo it. You're not fulfilling your needs because you are always pausing things. You're always stopping to overanalyze and push back on yourself and saying, yeah, I don't think that's right, or I think I can do that better. You are not fulfilling your needs, and that is going to hurt you from feeling motivated or to give wind behind your wings to push you forward, and that is going to tarnish your outlook on anything you do in the future. You will run yourself into the ground. You will burn yourself out. People need to stop being a perfectionist. People need to stop thinking about every single angle and just jump out there and do it. A great analogy with this is, and I've brought this up in one of my earlier episodes, is that if you just dip your toes in the water and you go, oh, that water's fucking cold, chances are you're going to delay jumping in, or chances are you might not even jump in. Look at that as your business. Look at that as your goals. Look at that as your plan in life, right? Every single time you're just dipping your toes into the water and second guessing yourself like, oh, that's too cold, or maybe that's not perfect enough, all you're doing is delaying actually jumping fully in the water. Once you jump in, even if you don't know how to swim, maybe that's an exaggeration, but even if you jump in and the water is really fucking cold, you're going to get back out, or you're going to swim to somewhere where there's a nice warm stream of water. Whatever the case is, that is exactly like life. You need to jump in. Stop dipping your toes in, or stop delaying and saying, oh, the water is really cold, because guess what? Once your whole body is submerged in water, then you are going to figure it out. Then those objectives, then what you need to get done is going to be very clear. But until you do that, until you take your pen off paper and you actually go out there and make actions on those thoughts, actions on those plans, actions on those business ideas, it's not going to go anywhere. So you need to make it happen today, because each day that you wait, each day that you try to make it perfect, each day you are delaying from getting a step ahead, a step further in where you need to get. And that is so crucial to your development. It's so crucial for your business. It's so crucial to whatever you want to do in life. You need to stop making it perfect. And when you fail, when you fuck up, when you make mistakes, when you get criticized, guess what? You can't take that shit personally. You need to live and learn. When you make mistakes, when failures happen, those are all the steps to get onto the second floor of success. And you need to continue to make failures. And you need to start changing your mindset on failure, because actually failure is an extremely good thing, because it allows you to understand what not to do next time and what to do next time. And that's so key for you to move forward.